All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the holistic approach to business. What is holistic? Anybody know what holistic is? What is it? There's a lot of definitions of holistic, right? What is a holistic? I don't know what holistic is. What is that? Right? What is it? Holistic approach. Have you ever heard of a holistic approach? A natural.
Natural. Like holistic.
I'm not talking. Are you talking about Zen? It may be Zen for some, and maybe something else for others, right? But I think there's a holistic approach to business. I think that if you do it the right way, that you can be really successful. There's something that's called a wheel, and this wheel is like what? It's like a wheel of life, is what I like to call it, right? And you have all these components to that wheel. Do you need these parts to that wheel? What does it do?
Keeps it together.
To keep it together, right? It keeps it together. So how do you keep yourself together? Trick question? Here's what I want you to do. Everybody stand up. Everybody, if you would, close your eyes. Close your eyes. All right, now what I want you to do is everybody point to the west. Everybody point to the west. Okay, now I want you to open your eyes. It looks like today we need a little direction, right? We need a little direction because we don't know what's going on up in here. I can already tell you. Something else I want you to do. I want you to take your right hand point and your finger pointed out. Okay? And then what I want you to do is just take it and find a spot in the wall. Go as back as far as you can. Or go all the way back as far as you can. Okay. All right. Now what I want you to do is come back around. Now what I want you to do is put your hands down. Close your eyes. Now what I want you to do is visualize the back of the wall, but I want you to visualize yourself going all the way around, and I want you to go to the furthest point. So go ahead and just stretch yourself out. To put your right hand out, stretch it all the way to the back, and I want you to go all the way to the back as far as you can. As far as you can. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Was you able to go a little bit farther this time with your eyes shut and have a spot on the wall? I think you are. I think if you look around, you'll see that when I asked some of you to do it, you found a spot, you went thus far. But when I said, hey, I want you to find a spot, I want you to go all as far as you can, all of a sudden you're way over there. So that tells me if you really picture where you want to be and visualize what you want to do, you can get there. You guys have a seat. Ladies, have a seat. So sometimes, I know in my past, a lot of times, I remember about 15 years ago, when I really started getting into personal development and really taking a holistic approach to business, is when life really started to change for me. I started reading more. I started applying things more. I was writing things down. And then I looked at it, a year later, I was looking at it, and all these things started happening for me. And I was like, wow, there's something to this. So I started calling it a holistic approach to life. And wouldn't you say that this would be a true statement? That if your family life is good, then things seem to work a little better. If your family life is a little jacked up and things they're kind of going wrong, it seem to have little issues going through the day. So what's important to me, not so much to me, but to most, and probably to you, are a few things. But I would like to hear today, who and what is the most important thing to you? And what's important? Family. Is family the most important to you? It's okay. There's not a right or wrong. Family. So we'll put family here. Well, I'll say that's very important. What about, how about physically? Is physical, is that important? So health. So we'll put health. Right there. So I would say that health is pretty important. Family is really important. How about professionally? Your profession, your career. Is that important? Yes. Should that be up here? Yes. Okay. So this is where you're at today. This is your professional. This is your career. That's why you're here, right? That's why you're here. Sometimes men seem to take a little bit of heart more so professionally. Would you say that's true or false?
It's true.
But also women do too, though, right? And then it's really tough on your wife as career-minded as you and you got kids at home. Who's going to stay home? I like to stay home, right? Spiritually, it's spiritually important, whatever that may be for you. Whatever you believe, whatever your system is that important? Is that part of who you are? Okay? So, spirituality, very important, right? So you have to look at these things, right? And see, where am I at? Okay, how about relationships? Relationships important? You could put family, let's put family and relationships together. Because family and relationships, it kind of goes together, right? Emotionally. What is it emotionally? Sherry, is that a big one?
Sure.
Well, so that's important to have a stable mind, to be emotionally intact.
Mind, a positive outlook.
Positive outlook? Okay. Now, what I want you to do is you're writing right now. What I'd like for you to do is I want to grade yourself. 1 to 10, 10 being the best, okay? Family and relationships. Where would you rank yourself? 1 to 10, 10 being the best. I want you to write this down. I want you to put family and relationships, and I want you to rank yourself. And you're going, wait, hey, what does this have to do with Shamrock? What does this have to do with business? It has everything to do with business. And the more you're around me and the more you're around this company, you'll see how important it is. Okay? Spirituality. 1 to 10, where are you at? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Health. It's important too. Where are you at? 1 to 10. Again, 10 being the best. Huh? Oh, minus 10. Yeah, that's right. You've been eating everything, right? Professionally, where are you at? 1 to 10. Are you where you want to be, or are you working on that? And then emotionally, where are you at? 1 to 10. And there's some more dynamics here, but we're just going to dive into these for now. So let's just go over here to health. Health, 1 to 10. If you're not an 8 or above, then you're below the optimal level. You need to be an 8. You need to be a 9. You need to be a 10. In all these areas, you need to be working towards a 10. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you're kicking on all cylinders and you're giving yourself a 9 or 10 on all these cylinders, I'm telling you, you're going to thrive in whatever you do. Right, Mark? You're going to thrive. You know what I find, too? It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. Even myself, who I work on this all the time, I talk daily about it. I'm reading about it. I'm doing all these things. Even I, at times, have issues and opportunities. And I'm working on myself daily. So, if you're not where you need to be healthy-wise, what do you need to be doing? What are some of the things you can be doing to stay at the optimal level? Okay, we know that, right? It's simplistic, we think. But why aren't we there sometimes? What holds us back? Why are some people, man, they just drive, they get in it and they jam. And we know, you know what's so funny? It's a $20 billion industry. Everybody's looking for the silver bullet. But the silver bullet, it's really easy. Maybe walk a few times a day, set your goals, maybe curb your appetite and do those type of things. That's it. And there's millions of people struggling and trying to find the way. So if you're not 8 or above, I need you to start working on that. That's important. That's going to help you thrive through the day. It's going to help you conquer your competition. Think about it. If you're healthy and you're lively and you're feeling good and you go see the customer, they're going to see that in you, right? They're going to see you, you're always up, you're always ready to roll, you're ready to rock, you're ready to make things happen. Instead of coming in, wore out, tired, can barely walk. So that's important. Okay, your profession. Shamrock, we spend a lot of money on your education, and we will. We've already demonstrated that. We have everybody coming in. We have all these people coming and working on your behalf. You're staying in a hotel, some of you, right? So there's a big expense there. It takes us about $55,000, $60,000 to train you folks over a 2-year period, minimum. We have sales meetings. We have all this stuff. So professionally, you need to be thinking where you want to be. Do you want to continue to be a rep? Do you want to grow in the company? You want to make things happen? 90-year-old company with a ground floor opportunity. You don't see that much, gang. You do not see that. So professionally, 1 to 10, where are you at? And I need you to write your goals on where you want to be. You don't have to write your goals today, but when I ask you, and I believe me, you can ask. I go to people a lot and say, hey man, where are you professionally? Hey man, how's your health? Ask my management team if you don't believe me. I'll ask them. So I want to know professionally where you want to be, what you want to do. I need you reading books. I need you listening to CDs. I need you working on yourself. That makes a difference. And I'm telling you, some people say, well, that stuff don't work. Yes, it does. It's like taking a bath. Zig Ziglar said it the best. You know, it's like motivation is not weekly or monthly. It's daily. You take a shower daily, I hope, right? So I think it's very, very important that we're working on this constantly, right? You want to be the best you can be. I want to be the best sales manager I can be. I want to be the best leader I can be. And I want to work around people that want that. So that's the key. Emotionally. Sherry, you talked about emotionally. What are some of the things that we can be working on emotionally?
Just overall how satisfied you are with your life, with your career.
Uh-huh.
If you don't enjoy what you're doing, maybe
Right.
you should look at doing something else.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Trust me, 3 months down the road, a month down the road, if you leave here a month down the road, emotionally, you don't think you want to be here professionally, let me know. Because I don't want you to do something you don't want to do. If you're not happy, quit. If I wasn't happy and I didn't love what I was doing today, I promise you I would do something different. Why do you need to walk through life not enjoying your profession and being emotionally drained? I'm going to tell you something else. If your health's not right, your profession's, you're just not working on yourself, emotionally you're going to be drained. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to drain you. If your family and relationships, we talked about family and relationships, where you at, 1 to 10? If you don't have a really good relationship with people or your family, guess what? You're going to bring it to work. Very seldom does people come to work that can handle separating the two. It's important to, and I will learn to do that. Because you know what? People don't want to hear that. That's like, for instance, you go to a restaurant and you sit down and you're having this great meal and you have the server come up and you say, hey, how was your day? Oh, let me tell you something. My boyfriend stole my car, and they go into this whole thing. Listen, I didn't want to hear all that. You know, that's a little too much. So you need to separate the two. When you're out there and you're representing yourself in Shamrock, it's lights, camera, action. People are looking at you, watching you, and saying and listening to you. And they're listening, and they're listening. Sometimes it's not even what you say, it's how you say it and or how you react to things, right? So make sure that you do not take that stuff with you. Work on that. That's important. Spiritually, that's your call. Where you at? I'm just saying. Zen, that's up to you. I'm not going to judge where you're at. But you said in this room that was an important piece to who you are and how you react to things, right? So what are on this wheel that we're missing right here? What are we missing? Anything? Because this wheel can be anything. This wheel, it doesn't say these 5 things are the most important thing, right? It's not. What about this? Hey, check this out. I can't believe you didn't say it. You got profession here. What about financially? What about that? How important is that? Money's not important, is it? Huh? Money's not important. How important is that? Is that part of it? Let me tell you something. If you're working on yourself in all these areas, and financially too, I'm telling you that you have to have the holistic approach to be financially set too. For instance, how many times have you heard people win the lottery? Millions of dollars. How many people has gone broke like that pretty quickly? Why is that? Why is that?
Nothing else is in order.
There you go. Nothing else is in order. Because really and truly, if you don't have these things in order and you never really financially had anything, then you're not going to be able to handle it when you do have it. I'm telling you that you can have all these areas intact. Financially, you could be thinking about some of the goals that you have, where you want to be, pay off that car, pay off that student loan, pay off whatever, because you're always striving to be. Everybody needs to be in a situation at a certain time in their life like, you know what? I'm financially okay. I feel great. But you can't do it if you're out of track. You cannot do it. So I always say, you know what? Financially, get in check. It's important. It makes you feel good, and you can walk through the day and make things happen, right? So again, it's about the holistic approach. It's about being better. It's being all you can really be. I stole that from the Army, right? I was in the Army, so I stole it from them. But it's really, truly, that's what we want you to be. We want you to have all these things. We want you to make a difference on a daily basis. And when you're doing these things, when you're out in the marketplace, you're going to set yourself apart. Look, you're not a green bean salesperson. You can't look at yourself like that. Let me give you an example. I was at a party one time. My wife was a VP of a medical company and vice president. And we were at this party, and all these people there were doctors, neurologists, very high paid people, right? And this doctor came up to me. I'll never forget it. He's about that tall, came up to me and said, Thax, boy, that's an interesting name. I kind of like that name. That's pretty. Where'd you get that name? By the way, so Thax, what do you do? Well, you know, I wasn't going to say, well, I sell green beans, Dr. Jackson. I wasn't going to do that. Man, I got my tie and said, well, Dr. Jackson, I'm a consultant with a $37 billion company. So what kind of doctor are you again? So it's all perception. And I'm telling you, when you have that perception, look, it's not about look at me and ego. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about ego now. I'm talking about how you look at yourself on a daily basis. How you look at yourself within. Who are you? You're a consultant with an unbelievable independent company. That's what you do. You help people's lives become different and better. You help people with their bottom lines. I create positive impact to P&Ls. That's the things you need to be thinking about, right? So it's just, you got to get innovative and you got to set yourself apart. This business, look, this business is not hard, but then again, it is hard. That's double-minded, double-tongued, you would say. It's only hard if you think it's hard. But it's one of the easiest positions and easiest jobs that you'll ever have. You have the flexibility. You are running a $2 million, $3 million operation. You're directing trucks. You're working out of your house for the most part. So you're running this business. That's what you're doing. You're running a business. So when you deal with this customer base that you have, a lot of them are doing $800,000, $1.5 million, right? Maybe $2 million. And you may have some change to do more than that. But when you walk in and see that customer and you have all this down and you walk in there and you're sharp and you know what you're talking about and you talk to them about their business, you need to look at yourself like, wow, my business that I run, I do more in sales and deal more in sales and more in operations and more in other areas than you do. You don't have to tell them that. I'm not telling you, but you need to show that. And how do you show it? How do you show it? By the way you dress, on how you respond, what you say, and all that right there is going to dictate that. You need to learn to slice and dice. What is slice and dice? You know what slice and dice is? This is something you need to really work on. And I would suggest maybe you learn this on your maybe your spouse or significant other. Here's slice and dice. A couple of things. First of all, become very good listeners. Very good listeners. What's the most important thing you can do? Listen? Close. I set you up. See, I'm getting you where I want you to be, right? Asking the right questions is the most important. Ask the right questions. When you ask the right questions, then you listen. That's why God gave you in 2, right? You listen. You ask questions, you listen. You ask questions, you listen. You analyze, you listen. And see what happens is you learn personality types too, right? When I know somebody's real anal about what they do, and I learn that, or I maybe get some information, because when you go somewhere, you need to know about this person already. What kind of person is he? You're talking to the beer guy, the milk guy. Oh man, he's anal. He's this. Go up and ask them before you even go in there. Know what they're buying before you go in there. Don't go in there and say, hey, I'm Thax, I'm from Shamrock. So who you buy from? No, wrong answer. Know who your party is, right? Know who they are. If they're real analytical, when you go in there, you better not be high-fiving. Be mistake number 1. If I went, hey, what's up, George Thax? We haven't met. He would be like, what would he do? What would he do? Whoa, But if I know he's analytical, and I know he could be a little bit of a, kind of tough. If I want to say, hey, Mark, listen, I'm with Shamrock Foods. I know you don't have a lot of time, but you know what? We're here to help you with your bottom line. And shut up. Shut up. I know you're buying with this company and this company. I know about what you do, and I would like to help you. Is there any way that I can set an appointment for another day? I know you're extremely busy. That's it. They can't eat you. It's funny that 95% of tenured people do not like to cold call. You need to be champions of cold calls. You need to be the #1 people out there to cold calling. It's easy. When you learn how to do it, ask the right questions, and find out what they're about, it's easy. Now, if you go up to a guy that's is a rah-rah guy, and you know he's a rah-rah guy, you may not go in there and say, hey, Mark, I'm interested in helping you with your bottom line. And you're all serious. He's going to be going, I mean, so you got to change your tactics, right? How would you go in to see somebody that's a rah-rah guy? What kind of mood would you go in for with a rah-rah guy? Somebody that's emotional, high energy. How would you approach him? How would you approach me?
Analytical.
All right, that's right. But hey, when you start moving up management, you better learn all of them. You better be analytical too, because they'll come back and get you. Especially if you have an analytical boss. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. He's bottom line oriented. You're right. You got to go in there with a little energy. Mark, what's going on? Listen, we haven't met yet, man. Just go in there and have fun. And then you have your other personality types. But learn personalities. And you should be able to talk to somebody for 30 seconds, ask a few questions, and figure out look around. Golf, likes to hunt. Look. You're in there just looking. You're looking for stuff. You're just looking, right? And your mind is clicking, and you're bringing all this data in. And for the most part, if you do that, 90% of the time, you're going to be right, without even knowing and asking the beer guy or the milk guy or whomever. But it sure helps if you have all that data before you walk in, right? Now, again, could you do that if you was half-cocked? Could you do that? Listen, I'm 50 pounds overweight. I'm not real happy with God. And professionally, I don't know what I would do. Now, when I go and see the customer, do you think he's going to see that?
Absolutely.
He's going to say, this guy can't help me, right? For the most part. Because I'm probably mostly going to be putting that out there. And he's going to understand that, right? So we got to be thinking about that. Right? So what are some other things that you think is very, very important to learn in our business or going out on the street, seeing customers? What's important?
Not being afraid to take rejection.
Yes, absolutely. So work, again, remember I said spouse, significant other, start working on them. Get used to rejection. I'm kidding. You guys, lighten up, man. You guys have fun with this, right? Seriously, that is a good point, Sherry, because you know what? Hey, let me tell you, can I share a little secret with you? Back in the day, you've heard this before. In high school, I used to have friends go, man, how the freak did you get a date with Monica, man? How do you get these girls? Man, I'm a numbers guy. It's all about the numbers. I ask 100, probably score 2, bam, there you go. It's a numbers game. So just remember, that's what we're in. We're in a numbers game. Some people will, some people won't, so what? You know what I mean? Some people say, yep, get out of here. I'll never buy from Shamrock. Are you gonna quit? You know how many times I've heard that when I first came here? Oh no, Shamrock can never get a truck on time. We only got half our order. You sued us. And? I wasn't around then. We're a different company. We had different people. We're totally ready for you. Right? So you're right, you're gonna have rejection. What are some other things you're gonna have in the marketplace? What do you think some other things you're gonna have to display? Competition. Do you think there's any competition in the food business?
I have no idea.
Huh?
I have no idea.
It's funny when you get in, you think, oh, it can't be that hard, right, Mark? I've been in real estate. That's competition. I know. Man, you don't understand. I have all these real estate companies. And you get in the food business. What happens? It doesn't go away, does it?
Times 10.
Times 10, right? You got Jack's uncle, who's got a produce company, he carries 4 lines. You have your A broadliners, you got all these things, right? But you know what? They're missing one piece. They're missing something. They're missing service. What else are they missing?
You.
They're missing you. Man, you said it. You. Here it is. You Inc. You Inc. You Incorporated. They don't have you. Hey, and that's okay. That's how I look at it. When I go in and see these folks, when I go in and see customers, I'm like, man, what an opportunity. Because they're missing something. I don't tell them they're missing me, but I'm going to give them a reason to miss me or want me. You know, I'm going to knock the door down. I'm going to get innovative. I'm going to perform, outlast. Nobody's going to beat me. That's the mentality I have. So then guess what? The only competition really, truly, to me, I'm not just saying this, is myself. It's right here. You know, a lot of people talk about it. I don't play a lot of golf, but they say golf's between the ears, right? This business is between the ears. If you can, you can. If you can, I agree, you probably can't. Because you're already defeated, because you already told yourself you can't. Right? But I'm telling you, when you get it right here, and you apply those things, and you apply them daily, you're unstoppable. You are unstoppable. You can make more money in this business. Look, I've had lawyer friends, people that have been in the title business, real estate, all them people, man, went slam down, and we're still steady. People are going to go eat, folks. People are going to spend money. You're going to cut back on everything else. I guarantee it. You tell a wife, well, no, honey, we're going to start cooking at home every day. For the most part, 99% of the wives are going to say, you lost your mind. You lost your freaking mind. They'll cut back on something else. Now, they may not be cutting back, getting their hair did or their nails done, right? But I'm telling you, they're going to go out to eat. You are in an unbelievable business. It's not going away. Matter of fact, it's going to continue to get better and better and better and better. And you are with a company now, here, timing's everything, and we are in the right time, the right place. I'm going to tell you right now. I say this and I mean it. I remember standing in a line at Starbucks. I'm like, holy crap. I'm going to spend, at the time, $1.85 for a grande bold coffee. And it's burnt, and I'm standing in line for that. I can't believe I'm standing in line for that. But what did they do? What did they do with coffee? What did they do? They made buy them Starbucks coffee cool. And that's what we're doing in the food business. At Shamrock Foods, New Mexico, we're making it cool to do business with us. And I think that is something. People want trendy folks. They want things that are happening. They want to be in the game when things are rolling. When they see something different about you, because you are the company. Oh yeah, you're the company. When you walk in that door, you're Shamrock, and the driver's Shamrock. That's who they see the most. Every once in a while they'll see Thax Turner, but they're going to see you the most, right? So you're the one who can make it fun, fast, furious, and unbelievable. But it only happens when you do that. And I'm going to tell you, I've talked about this. I've taken this theory, I've utilized it, and it works. It works. And the people that throw it to the side are the ones I see struggle the most. Now, this is what I want people to use on my team. It may not be the right thing for everybody, but I really think if you give it a chance, here's what I want you to do. I'm gonna make this challenge to you, okay? Here's my challenge. My challenge is this. I want you, when you're done with this class, not particularly tonight, but maybe this weekend, or if you get some time to yourself, I want you to reflect a little bit. I want you to reflect on some of the things we talked about. I want you to reflect on that right there. And I want you to write down some areas of opportunities within which you want to see yourself exceed in a particular area, or meet that 8, 9, that 10. If you're 4 or 5, I want you to get to that 10. I want you to work on those things. And then I want you to remember this class. And I want to say 30 days from now, I want you to stop, look, and listen, and see where you're at, and say, wow, I see some steps. I'll tell you what I did today. I was reflecting myself. And I pulled out, 18 months ago, I came to Shamrock Foods. Mike Primrose recruited me. I came out here and started working with him. For 2 months, I evaluated myself. I looked at myself professionally. I looked at all these places. Then I started looking professionally what I seen we could do here. I had 10 pages of notes because for 2 months I took nothing but notes. And then I went to Mike Primrose and said, these are the changes that I would like to make. And with him recruiting me, he trusted me, right? So I went through all those changes with him. We made the changes. And today I found that notepad. And I went through all the changes, everything I wanted to do. Everything on that list was changed. And I look at where we're at today, and it started with that right there. It started with U Inc., which was me, and then it went all the way through these different things, and then it went on the pad, and the goals were set, the things I wanted to do, and I started clicking through them. And then I look back and wow, it happened. Now, I just wonder if that's coincidence, or is there something else to it? Is there something there? And see, I really feel it is the silver bullet, because I've done it so many times in my career. Wrote things down and I watch them come to pass. And I really feel in my mind and my heart, I'm an intuition guy too, and sometimes analytical, depending. But I just felt that it was because of the steps that I had taken. Not that I always make the best choices, because sometimes I fail, but I win way more than I fail. I think it's because of my mindset, not because of Thax Turner. It's something I had to work on. It didn't come naturally. It didn't come naturally. I wasn't given the golden spoon and the brand new cars in the house and all the things and say, hey, wow, there you go, Thax, you're made. No, 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 no. One day I'll tell you about my story. But we all have a story too, right? But we can't use that story to put us where we're at, regardless of where it's at, right? You got to take the steps and you got to do the right things. But when you start doing those things, unbelievable things will start happening to you. You could say they're magical, if you like. You could say they're God-given, if you like. Whatever you think. But I'm telling you, when you do it, you'll be on top. Now, the stats say this. Look around the room. The stats say, out of what's in this room right here, there's going to be 3 of you that don't make it. That's the average stats. That's what the stats say. New reps, companies, X amount, 30% won't make it. 2 years from now, be gone. Adios. But that's not our stats. We have better stats than that. So, if you apply those things, you'll have all the support you need. No matter what, you'll have the support from A to Z here. You have more support. Hey, look, if you fail, it's because you just didn't try. You didn't even put effort into it. I'm going to tell you something. You give me passion, you give me effort, I'll grab you and take you to the top. If you give me complaints and negativity, you're probably going to let yourself go. We have no room for that. And I just want to be upfront with that, be honest about it. I'm looking for solution-based people that's going to get things done. Hey, look, you can have a bad day, you can say some things, but bring me the solution. Bring your managers the solutions. Talk to each other. Make things happen. Don't play that whine game, that game, and point those fingers, right? If you have a truck that's late, you have all these things, it's going to happen. Look, you got to remember this. In this business, you can do everything right and still be messed up. Does that make sense? You can do everything right. Took the order right, listened to it, did everything right. So many people are touching things that something could go wrong. Let me tell you what a good leader is, though. No matter what happens in my management or you guys, if we lose a piece of business, whatever, and I go out to see a customer, if something didn't work, I don't make excuses. You know what? We could have did a better job. We failed you, and I, Thax Turner, take full responsibility of my team. I apologize, but we'll make it right. What can you do? What can they say? What can they say? Don't ever go into an account and say, man, my freaking operations, my customer care people, my procurement people, Bob Kern, my president, whatever, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. Take responsibility and make it right. Now, you can come to me and be frustrated and upset, and that's fine. And you can go to your managers. You can go with each other. Come up with a solution, though. But when you start doing those things, I'm going to tell you, customers appreciate that. They're like, because they can't beat you up, I take full responsibility. What are they going to do? Well, yeah, but they're going to stop, right? They're going to stop. They're going to quit beating you up eventually because you took full responsibility. It's the people that says, yeah, my damn truck, my this, my that. You know, we can't even pick an order right. When you start doing that, what do you do to your customer? What happens?
Losing faith and shame.
Oh, losing faith. But you know what? Please remember this. You are Shamrock. Don't ever set yourself apart and be a third party. You are Shamrock. Good, bad, and ugly. What goes on in the house stays in the house. You know, I could talk about certain things, but it's my family. I'm not going to go out there to the customer base and talk about it, right? I'm not saying I didn't have my days. First month here, I was scratching my head, going to my wife, go, woo, we got a little work to do, right? Or calling her, we got a little work to do. So, but anyways, think about it. Think about where you want to be, what you want to do. Unbelievable opportunity. So, with that said, what questions do you have?
Absolutely.
You got questions? What do you think thus far? What did you pick up for the day and this week thus far? Anything good?
A lot of product knowledge. How to be successful.
Yeah? How to be successful? A lot of food? A lot of sweets?
A lot of food.
Right?
We have a warehouse for us Las Cruces, or what, you know, that's a new experience.
Yeah.
Nice walking through there and seeing the boxes you actually order online and seeing them stacked up.
It's pretty neat though, right? You kind of get the experience. See, here we want you to experience. We want you to experience what the other departments are going through too, right? Because I'm telling you, we meet once a week as a senior staff, and we talk about opportunities and issues and things we can work through. And we're always meeting and trying to make our company better. We don't just sit around going, yeah, well, you know, there's another one. There goes another bad box, or this or that. We're always trying to be solution based. And that's what we try to empower everybody to be around here, is to be solution-based. Because some of the best solutions come from the street. You know, and that's something else too. I never want to get so far removed that I really don't understand what's going on. That's why I go out and see customers. I'll run around and do, you know, see what's going on. I'll see a mad customer. To me, it's opportunities. I don't look at it as a bad thing. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to see that. Is everything okay before I go in there? No, I don't even ask. I don't care. And sometimes the customer really shares some cool things with you. If you ask, you know, what's the most important thing?
Listen.
Listen. No, not listen. You guys are easy to trick. Ask the right questions and listen. Write down things and then follow up. They love it. I mean, a customer's like, holy crap, this guy come in and ask all these questions. And not only that, he had solutions. The guy actually followed up. You know what? If you do that, you're already ahead of your competition, because your competition is slow, doesn't have a sense of urgency. Very few times I see anybody good. Look, I haven't seen any great people from the competition. I've seen okay people. I don't want to discount them because I don't just think it's a walk in the park. But I'm just telling you, when you look at it like that, you're like, pfft. And it's not ego-based. You work hard. Hey, if you're doing all these things and you're working at it all the time, you deserve to get all the business. You deserve to be the top dog in the areas. You deserve that. Why? Because you work on it. You don't just wake up one day and disappear and you're all that. It takes time. And so if you apply all that stuff and product knowledge and come in here and you listen to Elizabeth and all these people and you're going through these classes and you apply it, that's half the battle, is applying what you learn. A lot of people learn it and don't ever apply it. I'll tell you why. Because most people what? They know how to diet, but they don't diet. They know what to eat, but they don't. They're looking for the silver bullet. You have the silver bullet. Who's the silver bullet? You. Right? So remember, open door policies. You know, you can call anybody. You go to Mike Primrose's office, Bob Kearns. It doesn't matter. We got open door. We do it here. Right, Sherry?
Right.
So what other things? Let's talk about. We got a few minutes here.
In their defense, we did a technique yesterday for listening being the number one rule. Asking the right questions is tomorrow on Thursdays.
So, but let me tell you something. Listen to Thax. Right questions, man. Because you know what? You can listen all day, but if you don't if you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the right answer. Then you're like chasing the tail. Mark.
When going after a new account you're not in at all, number of contacts, you know, it's a numbers thing. What do you recommend initially? Once a week, popping in, and twice a week?
I would say whatever you decide. I would say once a week, no matter what, and you'll learn about pipeline. You'll put it in there. You want to be on time. If it's 8 o'clock Monday morning, every Monday, you're there. Because guess what? If you're there all the time, and when you miss, you're not going to believe this, even though they're not buying from you. Guess what? They're like, damn, Mark didn't come in today.
So it's a scheduled appointment?
No, I'm just talking about going in there, the consistency, being persistent, being consistent. Now, some people say, well, how many prospects should I call on? All of them. Well, it depends on what your territory is like, right? Can you call on 20 and be successful? Maybe not. What's the magic number? What's the magic number? Depends if you have a territory, huh? Means you can handle? As long as you can be, look, if you don't have a big piece of business, right? You got $20,000 a month, $5,000 a week, you have a lot of time. Here's what I caution you to do, or not to do. You're going to have a lot of time. A lot of time. And you're going to be at home, and you're going to be in your office. And you're going to be planning and things. Just don't plan so much you never get out. Because one day you're going to be 100% commission. It comes quicker or sooner than later. So from day one, treat it like you need to make X amount of dollars. You're going to get out there and hustle. Because what happens is, here's what I see. Because I bring people in, I review them, I review their day. I'm working 80 hours a week. Really? Wow, something's wrong if you're working 80 hours a week. Something's wrong. So when I start going through the list, what I find is that what happens is, like on a Monday, they're working about 8 hours. On Tuesday, they're working like 4. They're studying a lot. They're running the bank. They're doing all these things. They get back at night and they're doing their stuff. So they feel like they're working all the time because they don't organize for success. I'm telling you right now, you should be able to make more money than you can even care about working 40 hours. Some people say, really? 40 hours? Yeah. 40 good, solid hours a week. But you know what I find? Most people don't work that. They just don't work it. They say, well, how many hours do you think? I've sat down with people that are making really good money, and they're seeing the customer 24 hours. They're doing will calls 3 hours out in the country, balling products 3 hours. They're doing this, this, and this, and they're still falling short. I'm telling everybody they got to give me 40 hours. 40 good hours that you're in front of the customers, that you're prospecting, that you're doing all those activities. I'm telling you, a year will come up, 6 months come up, and you'll be hit with it. And you'll be looking at your pipeline, you'll be looking at all your stuff, and you'll be behind schedule. Treat it like come out of the gate and don't stop. Please do not stop. Don't get lazy on me, because that's the number one thing that happens to folks. They get lazy. Not everybody. Look, what is the rule? What is the most successful people? Give me percentages. I have 100%. What's the ratio? Is it 80-20 in everything? In everything. It's the 20%. It's the 20% of our customer base that really pays the bills. I mean, if we really get down and get technical, maybe a little bit more, not much. So it's the 20%. You want to be that 20%. So you got to do all these things we're talking about, apply all this knowledge, and be that 20%. Don't get lazy on me, because you know the lazy, and I'm just being transparent. The lazy ones find their ways to say, I can't do this. They're not making the money they want to make. You should not be in this business if you can't be making $50,000, $60,000 minimum. You know, I mean, our average pay is like $57,000. We got people making big money. We got people making a little money. You should be, if you come in this business to do this business, don't do it halfway and just get by. Game busters. There's more. I'm gonna tell you something. I've been in this business a long time, and I'm passionate about this. I have never seen so much opportunity for a salesperson in my life as I do here. Go by any restaurant, anywhere you want to go. Las Cruces, I know we got a lot of the business. We don't have near the business that we could have. I'm telling you right now. Pick any area. Albuquerque, are you kidding me? I could go down the road right now and take it at 9 accounts where they're only calling on. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. That's right. That's why we're building this feet on the street, we like to call it. That's why we're building this team. We have so much business, we don't have enough people to knock on the doors to open it. Wow. What a place to be. Our market share, I mean, it's tiny. It's tiny. But that I'm not frustrated with that. I'm pretty excited about that. Now, when we talk one-on-one, you're not calling on your area, I may not be so excited for you. Like, hey, what about all these accounts? It's funny, people say, I'm just not doing it. Really? Really, not doing it. How many accounts you have? I know how many accounts. I already know. When I ask you a question, most of the time I know the answer. I've already researched it. I wouldn't ask you. I want to know what's going on. I know you got 27 accounts. You're selling 16 of them. You prospect the X amount. And there's all this business. You're not doing anything. You're doing something wrong. And you haven't asked anybody for help. Wow. That's amazing to me. Ask for help. Call on accounts. Don't be lazy. Utilize this. Ask the right questions. Listen. You're golden. What else?
What is your best or the one you're most proud of success story in your career?
In my career? I've had a lot of fun, a lot of success in a lot of areas. I used to think when I was in Memphis, I would take teams and they would move me around and move me in districts that weren't so very successful, and I'd go in there and they were like the Bad News Bears, and then we was able to raise that team up and find some really good people, make some things happen. So I was very successful in that realm. But I've never been prouder of my 20 years in this business than I was last year with Shamrock. Because I know what we did the year before, I know what we did with the bottom line the year that I got here, and I guess the reason why I was so proud is we made so many moves, so many things were changing, and I know people at corporate or enterprise and there's Arizona were looking at Mike and myself going, what in the hell are you letting this guy do? Because you sure are doing a lot of changes, and I'll tell you this, some people don't like to make that many changes. They don't care to make changes, but some people don't like to make that many changes. It's kind of radical what we did last year and all the changes. But with the support of Mike, and Mike likes changes, but he don't want to make 50 changes, right? But that was probably my most proudest year, probably, in the food service business, because I've seen a lot of cool things that happen. I've had a lot of great years in food service. Food service has been great to me. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. But I would say last year, and we have a little saying around here, and Bob and I started saying this a long time, and there's no plan what, Bob?
No plan B.
So what I did is I burned the ships. Think about it. I moved 14 hours away. I didn't know anybody out here in New Mexico. I burned it up and came out here. It's not about Thax, though. It's about the unbelievable people and the support that we've had. I just recognized some talent and put it together, and with Mike and the staff's help. So I would say, yeah, that's a good question, and I really do love that.
I just want to say you don't need a plan B if you bring your A game.
Oh, that's man. Don't worry about plan B. Bring your A game. That's pretty good, actually. That's very good. I like that, man. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna borrow it. I'm gonna borrow it, right? But yeah, and then this year we're gonna have even that much better of a year. With a few. What we're doing different this year, I think, is we're really ramping up the sales team. We were going to wait till the fourth quarter to start adding people, but after doing a lot of listening and talking and strategizing with some of the staff, just felt like we needed to really ramp it up now, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, because we're going to be doing really good with numbers and financially. Then when October hits and we're going to get some bigger numbers, that we have well-trained people and we're on top of it. Where some people are kind of cutting back in areas and pulling sales force back here, cutting their teams over here and doing crazy stuff with their management. I have a whole different thought process, so does our management team. That's not the way to go. We're still doing a lot of training. We're still putting a lot of feet on the street. We're looking at our managers. We're evaluating where we're at. And so we're really on top of, we have a pulse of our business and our people and our direction and some of the things we want to do. And so this year is going to be awesome. Next year is going to be unbelievable. Watch. We're going to hit some big numbers. And you're going to be part of that. That's why you're here. I mean, we love you, but you're here you're here other than that. We want you to grow, and we want you to grow those numbers, right? We're very transparent. It's a win-win. It's a grow, right? It's a grow. But we want to grow people and grow our numbers and we want to grow our business. But we're not just one-dimensional. Some places are all about the growth and don't care how you get it, but we're not going to do it that way. We're going to be transparent. We're going to do things right. We're going to be ethical in what we do. We're going to make things happen. We're not going to have no hidden agendas. Hey, when I tell you guys, we're going to have to raise our margins. If we don't raise our margins in 3 months, we're going to have to put 10 cents a case on there. We'll tell you that. We'll be transparent. We'll just tell you. We won't get behind the game. We'll turn everything up. And you see everything go up. If you see everything go up, it's because everything is going up, not because we're playing games. And we just made that decision here. And that's where we're going to play ball, and that's where we're going to do it. But I expect the transparency and the things out of you as well. I mean, it's important. I'm a fun guy. I love stuff, but there's a part of me, too, that I'm going to hold you accountable like you've never been held accountable. If you tell me something, beware when you see me, I'm going to follow up and ask where you're at with it. So watch what you say, because accountability's there. The only reason why, because I want to hold myself accountable for things, too. When I tell certain people want to do certain things, I'm going to do it all I can. And sometimes I can make, and you can ask Mike, I'll make some big comments. They're out there. But if I didn't believe that we could hit it, I wouldn't say it. I really believe we could have. I don't try to snowball things. I really try to, you know what, I know we can. If we do this, this, and this, I know we can get there. And that's how you, how you need to be in our business.
I guess all I want to say is I'm totally pumped to be here, and I can't wait to.
That's what I like, man. I like it. How about you?
I'm ready.
You ready? You ready? You what? You're learning and earning, right, brother? Where else can you go get paid to learn something? For you guys to try to get more money on me. I'm not pointing nobody out. Now I don't. Hey, you always got to ask for the order. You got to ask for whatever you think as it is, right? I'm telling you, if you're here, it's probably the best decision you've ever made. And you'll see. Next year we'll have this conversation, or we'll have this conversation before that. The sales meetings and stuff. You'll be saying, "Hey, man, I'm digging this. I really am." Mark,
Where do you see Shamrock, New Mexico 10 years from now?
10 years from now, as far as size,
market share?
I would say that we'll be we could be a $500 million company. We could be. I say 303 years. So if I say 303 years, I'd be a fool not to say we couldn't be 5 and 10, right? You see, what's going to happen is you're going to continue to have restaurants. You're going to still continue to get the market share. We're going to continue to grow down south. We're going to continue to pump the market in El Paso, right? We'll probably ease into some other places that I won't say today, right? There we'll deliver from here. So yes, I would say 303. I've been saying it. We may fall a little short. If we do a little tweaks and we're working on some stuff behind the scenes that would help us, we can be there. I know we can. El Paso market alone. Don't even get me going on that. So right, and Albuquerque too. Come on, we're going to be the number one food service in the marketplace. I can tell you that. We're number 2 in this marketplace. We're number 1 in the Southwest. I mean, if you take all of us, Arizona's bigger. Arizona Foods, Shamrock, is bigger than U.S. Food and Cisco together, right? Together, and Colorado is not far behind, as far as their geography and the U.S. and Cisco there. They're not quite as big as them two together, but they're close. They're close.
Just excited. I learned so much every day.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Ever. Don't ever stop. I love learning. It's that's what it's about, right?
Just love to be here. It's addicting. Every day you want more and more and more.
Okay. Well, I just say that when you're here, just be on time, go through these classes, ask questions, be hands-on, and really, Elizabeth come down and said, this class is awesome. I love the people, and she's pretty good. She's pretty good now. Elizabeth's pretty good. And she's told me, and she didn't say anything about this class. She said, I think you got 2, not going to make it. I'm like, oh, don't tell me that, Lizzie. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Are they these? And like, yeah. I'm like, we're going to have to work on it. No, we're working on them. They're working on them. They're doing good. They're doing good. But she's been doing this. She can scout it out, right? And I would like to end with this. I'd like to say this. First, make sure that you dive into your communities and really get involved. Nonprofit or whatever, some kind of, if you need to work on your presentation skills or whatever, get in some kind of a club. Work on yourself, right? But get involved with your community. I try to go to Santa Fe. I try to do things here. I try to get involved as much as I can around that particular area, but that's where I live, right? You need to be doing the same thing in your particular areas, wherever you're at, Las Cruces or whatever. Get involved with the community. When they see you, they know who you are, they know what you're about, they trust you, and they want to do business with you. People do business with people they like, trust. Trust has got to be there. They got to trust you, right? They got to like you, but they got to trust you even more. So remember that. And give them a reason to buy from you, because they can buy from anybody. And also, please do this. When you have people buying from you, make sure after those orders and every once in a while, I would say always look them in their face or look in their eyes, Mark, and say, Mark, thank you for your business. I do appreciate it. My family appreciates it. Tell them that. Because I'm going to tell you what, that's important. That goes a long way with people. You know, I know sometimes I go overboard telling, man, thank you for, I go overboard with it sometimes. Thanks for letting me be here. I appreciate it. You could have a lot of people here. But I mean that. You can't ever go overboard with that. People love to feel wanted and appreciated. You want to be wanted and appreciated. I do too. Everybody does. And you'll get that here. Do what you say you're going to do. Make a difference. Have passion. Love life. Utilize the will. Ask the right questions. Listen, and boom, magic happens. That's it. I'm done. All right. Good job, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks.